thinking, could I speak English? Could I write poetry? Could I have a business? Could I have a Canadian citizenship? Could I be with this beautiful blonde? Could I drive this car? All those damn things happened. All of it. Nothing. It's all mirage. This is the story of the material. It's a one-way trip. If you don't have it, you're unhappy. But when you have it, you're not happy. So it's a very unfair relationship. They cut your hand, you're very, very unhappy. Now you have your hand. Are you happy? No. So what is it about us that we are not appreciating what we have and who we are? And we're not content with what we have. So if I want to compare myself right now to Tom Cruise, to Brad Pitt probably is a better guy than me, to, I don't know, Iococca, some big guys. What do they have that I don't have? They walk on the same street, I do. Same passport citizenship, I do. They enjoy the same police protection, I do. They have the same medical system, I do. What else that I don't have that they have? Better car, I don't want it. I just like my Toyota. I don't want to drive an exotic car. Big houses, I don't want it. I just want one room. It's easier to clean. I don't want thousands of things that I don't know where they are. If I have something, I have to number them. How much I have, where it is. If I don't know how many things I have, how many shoes I have, how many coats and jackets I have, then might as well I don't have it. Let them then be in the department store. You know, how much my brain can take to remember all the items that I have. If I can't remember it, I don't know where they are, I don't need them, quite honestly. So I look at myself, from what I was, going to school without shoes, compared to today, I'm a million times more than the distance between me and Bill Gates. I was way better. I mean, way less I had when I was in Iran compared to here right now. The distance between me and Bill Gates and me in Iran is dismal. So, since I know this love towards material and possession is totally crazy, totally unwarranted. You're occupying your brain, your memory, your mind, your tranquility with number of things that you have in your installed in your head. Your head, just like a computer with too many programs on it. The C drive is so slow. We'll have to learn to uninstall a lot of these desires, lots of it. Solution is contentment. So, but as I said before, if there are spiritual things you desire, even accomplishment of any sort, go right ahead. The spiritual things does not harm anybody. In fact, anything that you want, if others cannot have that, that is not a spiritual. When it comes to spirituality, all the mankind, whoever they are, wherever they are, million years ago and 2 million years from now, they're all equal, they're all same. God cannot control your genes that you're born being musicians or mathematicians, you know, or your possession in this country because you come from this country and your inheritance and all of that. So people are born or they possess things that others they don't. There's no fairness in the material. But when it comes to happiness, that God does not give it to you simply because you're richer or you have accomplished more in your life. No. That is something else. That is the immortal wealth. That is not given just because you are the Queen of England or the President of the United States or the Pope of the Roman Catholic. No. Sometimes the man under the baobab tree in India lying down with his wife and his 2 children. They are homeless and they have nowhere to go. They are happy. I've seen them. I said to myself, there is no doubt that they have achieved happiness. But how do I become like that? How do I learn to become like them? I thought that day, to be as poor as the people are in India, it's actually the greatest wealth. The way the native of the North American chose. We created tools. We're cold grate heater, microwaves. The house looks like a factory. Every time we needed something, we started right away to invent something. We became a tool maker. Native of North America, I've seen them. I went to reservation, to Apaches, to Navajos, to Ojibways. They decided not to create things, but adapt themselves to the nature. Many of them, they do not get the disease and sicknesses that we have, even right now. So they've created immunity. They've made themselves to be a better body, to enjoy the nature and use the nature and be a part of it, instead of thinking to create things. That's what I think it will become in future anyways. That will become a part called predictions. I'll tell you what do I think of the future of the world. So the solution is the spirituality and the spiritual desire, that there's no competition in it. So the last point I like to make on this is that we have to understand the difference between need and greed. There are a lot of things that we think we need but we don't. Why is this happening then? Sometimes the people that are not greedy and they are spiritual even, they fall into the trap and act like a greedy person. They do not have contentment. They like to be content, but they can't somehow. There's a social problem there. I've seen it. Especially among the Persian, I've seen them in Toronto. Well, 5, 6 friends, they came to a country. They all had no cars. They go with the bus and this and that. Gradually, they got jobs. One guy goes by a Toyota. You know what the next guy does? He doesn't buy a Toyota. He goes by a Cadillac. Next one says, you know what, I'm going to top it up. No Cadillac, I'm going to buy a Mercedes-Benz. I've seen it. The other guy says, you know what, I saw your hand, I'm beating it. He goes by a Porsche. They're gamblers. This is not life and living. I know he doesn't have the money to buy the Porsche. He put all his saving going to death right after his neck to buy a Porsche. What is this game? When you're among your friends, this is what Baha'ullah says, do not surpass, do not exceed your friends. Do not go over their top. Don't get into competition, he says. What do? You're making his wife jealous. She says to him, look, you're nobody. Look at your car, it's just a Toyota. And then, you know, his pride and everything else is affected. You're right, lady, I'm going to have to do something. When he goes buys a bigger car. They don't even need it, they don't know how to park it. So they fall into this game of who can beat who. Okay? Because the whole idea is to belittle each other. A psychological game. Thanks God, Americans are not like that at all. North Americans, they're not like that. So, this is a race. This isn't even possession. Why do we get into this race of beating each other with the material power? No. When we see sometimes things like that, immediately we have to halt. And I have to tell them, you know what, you're a bigger guy, better man, I'm not like you. I'm poor, you know. I can afford only this Toyota, I'm sorry. And try to show humility and humbleness and whatnot towards them. Try to get them to get out of this race business of beating each other at the money. The guy is a computer store, barely makes any money, and he has a Mercedes-Benz, I don't know what number it is. I said, Lord, this car is like $200,000. I said, oh yeah. You know, and the seat has a heater and can heat you in the winter, and then there's cool, and it makes you cool in the summer and all that kind of things. I said, but this doesn't really match, you know, with your income and everything else. I never told him, but I saw that he's suffering from achievement deficit disorder. So